2023 is over, and I picked 12 photos that I like the most from this year that I wanted to review. And the first one will start with this. This is at a wildlife preserve that I like to go to a lot, and I like this photo the most because I had no idea that I was going to edit this way. It was kind of by accident, and it almost looks like I got this herring on a white background, but I didn't. So if I show you the before and after, I shot this right at blue hour, and so you can see the water was all blue, everything's blue. So just changing the white balance made it this pure white. And I did that by accident and took me completely off guard when it happened, and it was just blown away. And so that's why I like this photo the most. This next photo I really like because I'm using the Sony RX100 Mark VII. There's a setting where you can do illustration settings and it makes everything turn into a cartoon. So this is straight out of the camera. It's not like photoshopped or anything. I really like the effects. And this lady happened to walk by with an umbrella, and I just like the whole composition. I like the window mannequins in the background, the architecture of the building, and I just really like this cartoon effect. It's one of my most favorite things to play with. I have a playlist of these cartoon effects on my channel using that mode, and it's just so much fun. It's just different to take photos and it just automatically turns it into a cartoon. So I definitely like this one. It's just different. This next photo I took of a friend, and we were kind of just goofing around, and I really like the fact that, I mean, she put on a wig, she put on a hat, and she put on this like little furry thing, but I don't know, I just like this. I don't have a photo like this. It was my first time kind of taking a photo like this, and I really liked it. I had fun that day. An interesting story, like around this time my father passed away, and she knew that taking photos really like made me happy, and so she called me and said, hey, come over, let's just do a photo shoot. So that's why this has turned up in one of my best photos for 2023. This next photo, I love this photo because of how sharp it is. I think this was one of the photos that I used the first time I was using my 20 to 600 millimeter lens. I bought it, went out and took some photos, and man, do I love this lens. Especially with wildlife. So zooming in, I mean, I'm zoomed into 2:1 here, so it's really far in, and you can just see so much detail. It's so great. This lens is such a good wildlife lens, and then, you know, he's eating this fish here. It's just disgusting, but this is definitely one of the best photos I think I've gotten with wildlife, as far as like sharpness, and I like the composition too. This next photo I took with a 50 millimeter lens, and I was at the beach, happened to see these two looking at the sunrise, so I got behind them. And I like this photo mostly because they're not quite touching here. There's a little bit of sliver. Eventually they end up like touching heads, and I didn't like that. I like this one the most because there's this little sliver. They're almost there. You know, she's kind of, I think she's on her tippy toes, well, sort of, slightly. And then of course you got this pigeon photo bombing my image there, and kind of just happened in the moment, and I like that about this photo. This next photo, I was driving down the road and happened to just look over to the side and saw this abandoned boat, and I pulled off, took a photo, and I really like this one. This one is also done with a 50 millimeter lens. I like this shallow depth of field of the foreground here, the beach going up to the boat. And what I didn't notice when I took the photo, but I noticed later, so zooming into the boat, there's a guy kayaking over to the boat. Eventually he does climb up here. He's kind of exploring the boat. It's an abandoned boat, I believe, and so he was just kind of looking around, but I didn't realize that at the time when I was taking the photo that he was there. So I like the composition overall. Just a random stop that I happened to do that turned out to be just such a great photo. This next photo, again with the same 50 millimeter lens, I was trying to play around with the bokeh just to see what the bokeh would do on this, and this is the 50 millimeter 2.5 lens from Sony. I really like that lens. I love the bokeh on here. So it's a, you know, sunrise in the morning. I like how it like kind of just goes off into oblivion, and it's really sharp. So zoom in 2:1, and this shell, I mean, it's awesome. I love the colors of this photo. It's definitely a good photo. I really like bokeh, so this one really speaks to me here. And the next photo, I go to this beach a lot, and because I go to this beach, I always see this lifeguard tower. I was walking like back to my car from this, and I happened to come across this bush here, and I was like, you know what, I'll just take a quick photo. Went around the bush, took a photo, framed it, and man, do I like this photo. I like how the sunrise is coming up. Just the whole composition of it, the life tower over here, it's the colors, everything. I really like this photo. Next, I have an ICM photo that I really like. This one is probably my favorite ICM photo of the whole year. You got these groups of people standing here. You know, ICM is such a fun thing to do, and you can get so much unique photos on this. And I like these photos because, you know, I will never be able to replicate this ever again. And I like how you can tell that it's definitely people, but I don't know, they kind of look like ghosts. It's just a fun thing to do. Back at that wildlife preserve where I got that other eagle, that hawk, Hawk. It's a sunrise. I like how I framed this. I don't normally do something like this. So this was the first time like I specifically tried to get the horizon like really short, I guess. Is that the right word? So you barely have the horizon here, but you can tell that it's in the morning in the sunrise. With the yellow here, and then I just really like the silhouette of this herring and how he's just happened to walk right in the middle circular area here. The composition just kind of worked out really good. And this next photo here, another sunrise at that same wildlife preserve. I've been going there a lot lately. A nice sunrise photo. I like how the little lake area, it's more like a canal. I like how calm it is. And I like the two trees here and the reflections in the water, and also this tree and the reflection on this tree. I like the balance of it. This is really kind of the first photo I think that I can remember that I've taken something like this with water like this calm, and that's why I've chose this one to be one of my favorites in 2023. So I really like this boat sunrise. So I went out just to get a boat going towards the sunrise, and this was not what I was trying to get. I was trying to get a boat. I was trying to zoom in, like if you can see my mouse, I was trying to get like a boat that was like kind of going across the horizon with the sun kind of coming up, and hopefully trying to get a boat like in the middle of the sun. That was kind of my idea when I was going out here, but there wasn't many boats going out. Sometimes in this jetty, some days, some mornings, there's tons of boats that just rip through here, and then other days there wasn't that many. And so this day there wasn't that many, but basically this boat started coming by, and I was like, okay, well, I'll at least try this kind of shot, and it turned out really great. Like, I like how the boat is really big in this photo, and you still see the sun, and everybody's going off to the sunrise, and also like the people, you can kind of make out the people looking out into the sunrise. So yeah, I think this turned out to be a really great photo. Alright, so here it is, 12 photos that I took that I liked the most in 2023. And if I were to pick my absolute favorite photo for 2023 out of this group, it would be number 7. So number 7 is my favorite photo for 2023, and hopefully 2024 will have a lot more photos to come. Thanks everyone, and hope you have a great new year.